What's up, good people? Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Blue Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. This weather is crazy out here. I wish I had had this weather yesterday because the wind has died down. It's nice and warm. I wish I could have been down there working on getting the house wrap and stuff on the house and Red Brick House because it's perfect today. Unfortunately, that window I had to get the help that I had, it was only for yesterday, and so I had to do it then. But I am going down there tomorrow. It's going to be nice weather tomorrow, and then it's going to get cold again. By Sunday, it's only going to be 44. It's like 62 degrees already today. Anyway, I was thinking here, a lot of people are upset that we, let Zeke go, and because let's be clear here. Jerry Jones likes to throw shade on the quarterback and say that, the only place we messed up was paying premier money for the quarterback, and that's not the reality of it. The Cowboys have paid so much more for Zeke Elliott than anybody. And this is not the first time, because they did the same thing with Marion Barber. They didn't do it with DeMarco Murray, and fortunately DeMarco Murray led to a fourth-round compensatory pick that we used to get Dak Prescott. That was the one that worked out where we didn't hold on to and say we can't live without this running back. But a couple of things, it's like the market dynamics. We've always been told you don't pay big money for a running back, right? Because their careers are very, very short. You've got a limited amount of time that they're going to be great, and usually by the time they get to that second contract, they're not getting that money. And we may look back for a long time and say that Zeke Elliott's contract is an outlier, kind of like Deshaun Watson's, because Zeke Elliott has made $70 million in his 7 years in the NFL. $70 million. The next closest is Christian McCaffrey, who's at 45 or 46. That's a big range between the two of them. Now, here's the thing. This is where you now start to wonder, what do the Cowboys do about Tony Pollard? Tony Pollard on the franchise tag right now is kind of high. $10 million right now for a running back is a lot of money. Here's the thing. So Miles Sanders, who had 1,200 yards last year, 1,200 some odd yards, actually was really, really good. He signs a 3-year deal with Carolina for $25 million. So that's about $6,300,000 a year. That's $4 million less a year than what we're paying Tony Pollard. I'll give you another one. This one actually will blow your mind. Jamal Williams, who was a beast actually this year, he had a breakout season. And you can't judge it on just one season, but with the Lions having the second season of their coach, having Jared Goff kind of step up, their running game was actually really, really good. And Jamal Williams had a fantastic season given the opportunity. Having the season that he had, he signs a 3-year, $12 million deal. So think about this for a second. The Cowboys are going to take a $5.5 million dead money cap hit this year for Zeke Elliott. They're going to take another $5.5 million dead hit next year for Zeke Elliott. And what the Saints are paying for Jamal Williams a year for the next 3 years is only $4 million. If you want to look at it another way, Carolina is paying $1 million more a year to have Miles Sanders versus us having Zeke Elliott. So when we look at this, and even with Tony Pollard, now here's the good news on what Tony Pollard is, you're not committed long-term, because long-term with running backs is not a good thing. We've seen that happen. Now the question being is, the market, Tony Pollard may be looking for big money, just like Barkley is. Barkley may have been better off. This is where Barkley may have screwed the pooch. He was allegedly offered $12 million a year, and instead was like, "No, I'm not taking that." He settles for the franchise tag. The problem is the dynamics aren't there any longer for running backs to get that kind of money. You see that Tennessee is shopping Derrick Henry. Nobody wants to take on his contract with the age that he has now. So now, two teams that are in the Super Bowl not spending $4 million total on running backs. Do you think a running back is going to get a $15 million a year deal again? I don't. Not even close. I'm not even sure that a running back will get a $10 million a year deal. And the problem for Barkley is you're franchise tagged. If you get injured this year again, because you have had an injury-plagued career, more than likely you're not going to get more than the franchise tag price. I just don't see that. And hearing teams that the Chargers running back is seeking a trade, I don't think anybody's going to trade for him. I don't. This is where running backs, you look at it now and say, kind of screwed the pooch. And maybe the Cowboys screwed up by franchise tagging Tony Pollard. I don't know. I mean, what is the value for Tony Pollard right now? If we're saying that Miles Sanders is only $6.5 million a year, are we looking and honestly saying that Tony Pollard is worth $4 or $5 million more a year than that? Is that what we're saying? I don't know. Now the Cowboys could rescind the franchise tag. I don't think they will, but they ought to. If you are Tony Pollard, maybe you're sitting here looking and saying, I better take a deal that's not going to be $10 million a year. It's not going to be the franchise tag price, because what's going to happen is we may actually see deflation in that in the coming years as Zeke Elliott ages out and so on, and you'll see these new contracts that are a lot lower. You may, for the first time, see actually a franchise tag price go down. It's crazy to even think that. But if Miles Sanders is only getting $6.5 a year, how can you justify Tony Pollard getting much more than that? I just can't. So maybe the Cowboys were a little too quick with the trigger with Tony Pollard in a very saturated running back market. That maybe, just maybe, they should have waited. All right, good people. Hope you're having a great day. And headed to the dump. Got to get rid of this stuff here so I can put some more stuff on to take to the red brick house. Hope you're having a great day. Peace.